Anakin. What do you think the appropriate response that America ought to approach this Iranian regime with?
I think United States or the whole international communities, they have to take the measures that really will end up overthrowing this regime. I'm not talking about military actions or any specific action, I mean, as a whole. Whatever, first of all, they have to realize this. 27 years of experiencing this situation is not enough for everybody. We know what this regime is, we know what the nature of the regime is. US knows, or Europe knows, all the international community knows. Any measure they take, it should have a direction. Direction would be the end of the regime. If the direction is not on that, that direction is not going, it would be like you wounding a bear and then let it to recover. When it comes back stronger and gives you more damage.
How is it possible to overthrow the regime without hitting them militarily?
Okay, first of all, this regime has not had any success in internal economics, and their economy is so flaky that by a little bit of pressure on economics, they crumble. And just having some portion of it, like the wealth of the, first of all the people who have been in the regime, they have wealth outside, has to be boycotted. This money belongs to the nation. It doesn't belong to them. Secondly, the oil should be completely boycotted. There shouldn't be any money going to that regime. It's like you're giving a thirsty person in the desert water. Don't give them the water. The people will not suffer. They have suffered enough for 20 years now. The money of the oil doesn't go to the people. I came back from a trip from Dubai, and I was in a restaurant. There were a guy next to me talking to me about the Khani, Ayatollah Khani and Rafsanjani buying high rises in Dubai. That will hurt them, not the people. The people of Iran are working 3 or 4 different jobs, wives and children and everybody, just to survive. 80% of Iran don't have a car, so to use any gasoline or anything. Those could be boycotted. Money should be stopped going and coming out from Iran. And when they are weakened completely, the people will take care of them. The people of Iran will take care of them. There may be some surgical attack necessary, but this cannot be discussed publicly or how and when, because they are not sitting there and waiting for us to plan everything. But the major thing is we have to drain them from the money, from the government, oil and anything, by boycotting oils, boycotting, taking them. In Dubai, they can easily get all the wealth they have. In China recently, they are sending money to China and some other Eastern European countries. And they know Swiss, Switzerland and some other countries, the German, they have money. All of them, without any hesitation, should be stopped. Because Rafsanjani, and one of the money that they have is, when the oil purchase, every oil money, 20% of it goes directly to the leadership, supreme leader. And 20% of the oil money, not the profit, the actual money sold, goes to the supreme leader. And these money, they ask him one time, what are you using for? He says, for the benefit of Islam. So he's putting someplace, from all these years, they're putting someplace to use it. When you boycott the country, boycott the oil or some other thing, if these money are not boycotted, they're going to use it temporarily to get back on their feet again. So it has to be a widespread and studied embargo against Iran, against this regime, not Iran, against this regime, could be effective. So otherwise, they might, one day they go back and come forward. When they get very weak, they say, okay, we'll accept it, and 20 more years, remember the hostage, what they did? at the beginning said we won't release them, we will kill them, and 444 days they kept it. Eventually they gave it. And the war, they said we will not have a peace with Iraq. When they had to, at the end, they give up. They had to give up. They gave up. Now, are we safe from that? That they won't get any hostages? Are we safe that they don't start any wars? No, only delayed. Now, the atomic energy, they might come back to you tomorrow and say, okay, we will negotiate. But they are not truthful. There is a verse in Quran that it allows them to lie, legally to lie, religiously to lie. It's called taqiyya, which means that you can lie for a better causes, for the holier causes. If you lie, is okay, no problem. So they can do the same to you guys, to everybody, to the world society, to everybody. Once we have to say this tooth is aching, has to come out. When we decide that, then we can solve it.
What do you think the risk if we don't take this regime out now and they develop this nuclear weapon? Are they like Germany, whose goal is imperialistic, to conquer more and more lands?
They have talked in the University of Iran publicly, not indirectly. There are several officials of the government or the people that high rank religious leaders. Sometimes they talk about the caliphate. The caliphate, if you want to stay in Iran, you don't need caliphate. It's one country, you're ruling it. Caliphate means that you are one supreme leader in one place, the whole nation of Islam are under you. You put one director over there, like different states or different countries. The Khalifa is their goal. Has been talked about in universities and different places, publicly even. I think Mr. Bush knows it. One of his speech I heard that he was talking about Caliphate. I think it was a State of Union.
Do you think they would want to extend the caliphate to North America?
Okay, they start from, go back to the old Islam. They came to Spain, didn't they? They stayed there for 500 years in Spain. There is nothing, if they get to the point they want, what is going to stop them? They already put the bases over here. Look at the Iranian language TV called Salam, and broadcasting in Mission Viejo somewhere there. And look at the people over there. Look at the Imam Foundation in Los Angeles. Look at the Foundation, Alawi Foundation in New York and Washington, D.C. Look at the different sectors that they're putting everywhere. This is a seed they are putting there.
Cells? You think they're...
Seed yeah. For the future uses.
Yeah.
The seeds of the
spread.
To spread.
To spread what?
To spread their idea, their bases, so they can have more bases, more cell when they need it to use it. You see it everywhere. Here now, you might think they are very peaceful people, they're very nice people. No. During the Shah's regime, these Ayatollahs who are killing now and bloodthirsty, they were the same as these people you see now. Because they didn't have power then, they looked very nice people. When they get the power, then we see what the real nature of them are. And they start killing, torturing, whatever. Human cannot do it, they do it. The same thing is going in Europe. They're putting the advertising. It's not religion advertising. It's not religion advertising. Is a cult system type advertising for Islam.
Is that their objective, to spread Islam throughout North America?
They are doing it. They are doing it. They are very active on it, yes. I mean, in Los Angeles they're active. In Orange County, they're keeping the ceremony, they're saying it as a ceremony of Islamic ceremony. No, it's not Islamic ceremony. They keep the gathering, they spy on all oppositions, and they do the work that they have to do. I'm not talking about everybody's like this. I'm not insulting everybody who believes in the religion or they might be attracted to this because of their religion background. They're like this. No. But they're using these bases as their main objective to get to these points.
To convert Christians and Jews to Islam?
No, to advertise first, to have a means of places that they can use as basis.
To grow Islamic presence here?
Okay, advertising, grow Islamic. I've seen a lot of youngsters. They don't look like Middle Eastern. And they come and preach in the TV, Islam. And I don't see any accent, any foreign accent. It seems that they're American, white American people, or black American people. They come to TV and they advertise Islam. And if I don't make a mistake, these are the people who have been joining them. If I see a few of them on TV, maybe there are a lot more on the mosque or different places that they go. So yes, they advertise this, they have a purpose. They have a purpose to gain. There are a lot of different Iranian activity that society of Iranian people are doing. They never participate in any of them. You never see them on those activities. Why? As a normal Iranian person or Iranian American.
But what's the risk? I mean, isn't Islam just another faith? What's the risk if more Americans adopt Islam? What's the threat to the American way of life?
Okay, it's not. I don't think it's Islam. I don't think it's Islam that they are acting upon. This is something that they believe, or even they, in their real mind, real heart, they don't believe in Islam. They don't. They might use the name of the Islam and do all these things. Okay, I don't know. When I was a kid, I was being brought up. They were telling me that God is great, God is soft, God is kind, God is this, God is that. And where is that God in Iran right now? I don't see it. With these Ayatollahs in Iran, the God is killer. The God is,
going to punish
everybody, and there is. The God is God of crying people. The God is not the God of happiness. Where is that God that we were talking about before? If that was Islam, what is this? If this is Islam, what was that? Okay, I don't think, I'm not the expert in religion, but I don't think their issue is to advertise or to spread the Islam.
Spirituality,
no.
control.
There is control, is mostly politics, using one sector, using one tools in their hand, which is Islam. That's my view. I might be wrong on that, but I'm not expert in the Islam. But I don't think any religion will go to the street if it's from the God. It says kill people and put a bomb on your body, go to the Haifa, go to the Beirut, or go to Iraq, or to whatever place, and go to the regular people, or the children, women, men, and explode yourself so you can kill these people. If Islam is like this, nobody in Iran wants that Islam. And if they're doing that in the name of the Islam, if the God, I don't think any God would advertise this. Not Islam, not Christianity, not Judaism, not nothing. But what they do is something they invented, I think, themselves. I don't know what it is. They say it's Islam.
But it's really politics.
It's mostly politics.
Political control, power.
It's political control power, yes, but okay. There is a motor engine, an engine of the ideology needs to pull that, and they're using Islam as that as the engine of that.
Wants to spend their money on that. Who actually makes this
that movement, the engine to move these politics towards their aim or goals that they have. they're using it. Okay, Islam, which Islam is it? Sunni, Shia, Hanbali, Hanafi, 72 sectors. Which one is this one? And even the Shia, which they claim to be Shia, now you go to Iran, there are several different ones. Is a confusion for even for Iranian Muslim that for me myself is not confusion. I don't think they are either Muslim, Christian, or anything. There are a bunch of people there are groups of people using Islam as an engine or for the ideology to go to the goal that they want, to reach the goal they want.
And how far is the goal that they want?
How far is reaching to a caliphate to control the world?
The world?
The world, yes. Eventually. Maybe their lifetime doesn't allow them to be there, but the direction is that direction. That they can create a caliphate for the region at the moment. Maybe in future they can expand it. God knows how far they can go. But when you go again, with the philosophy of they explaining and the philosophy of Islam, when you go, Muhammad says that Islam should be widespread in all over the world. So everybody in the world should be Muslim. If that's the Muhammad's message that they are saying, that Muhammad said that. I wasn't when Muhammad said it, but they say that they have documented the book and written, has been transferred all these things from generation to generation. If Muhammad says that Islam is the religion has to be spread all over the world, so they are not going to stop by Iran or by Iraq or by Saudi Arabia. They want to start from some place as a caliphate and expand it. And we know the history about centuries ago that what happened to the Uthmanian Islamic dynasty that went all the way to Egypt and to the other place, and what happened. Another disaster. But this time, those then were sword. This time is atomic bomb. The effect is going to be much more devastating. And
you think he's building that bomb just as a threat, or he would use it?
He would use it. Didn't you hear that Mr. Rafsanjani about I think it was last year, in Friday prayers, he said if Israel send an atomic bomb over here through atomic bomb, all of Iranians are not going to die. But if we send the atomic bomb, the whole Israel goes to the to the sky.
If America tried to take away their nuclear development program, do you think that they would attack America domestically? Do you think they would attack in the heartland, as they say, the homeland?
If America does it or doesn't do it, if they have the power to attack United States, they will do it. Not only United States, any infidels that they think. But the time comes, they will do it. If the America attacks it or doesn't attack it, because when you go behind you asked me a question, behind Osama bin Laden and this regime, fanaticism is common in both of them. And being reactionary is on both of them. They cannot sit down and see the modernization is going on, because modernization is against the reactionary of the regime. That is in contrast with their idea. Any place you see modernization, automatically is against them. That's the fanaticism of them. Otherwise, nobody stop any of these people that to come here or to other countries to express themselves. Nobody put a gun on their head. You cannot be Muslim. What is the problem? Because the modernization threatened them. If you want it or you don't want it, that is the threat. So if one day they come and attack here, if they could, they would. They are not, I don't think some people say that they are stupid or they laugh at them, they're a joke or something, Mr. Ahmadinejad. I take them very seriously. They are not joke. They are not stupid. They're very smart. They know what to do first, from where to start, where not to start, where to touch now, where not to touch now. They are very calculated, and they do the things in spite of our thinking that they're stupid, that they're dummy. No, they're not. Maybe today or tomorrow they won't attack the United States or Europe, but when the time comes, they do. If the time and reason comes, they do. And right now, they're attacking Israel at that point. And they go all the way to the wiping the Israel out from there at this time. Tomorrow, they might start with Europe, some other countries. I don't know what happens and when they attack, but they will attack any place they want.
What's the notion of the 12th Imam?
12 Imam comes, and at that day, the whole nation of Islam will be his soldier at his service, and he will get the sword and will go. Anybody who is infidel, everybody who is infidel, kill them and destroy them. And there will be one nation in the world, and that's Islam. Now, take the sword out of 12th Imam's hand and put atomic bomb on his hand, and you go picture the situation, what will happen. That's the notion of Islam, the 12th Imam.
And does the Iranian regime believe in this?
Iranian regime believes it, Ahmadinejad believes it, Khamenei believes it, Misbah, Yazdi, Ayatollah, they believe it, everybody believes it, yeah.
Are they advocating to expedite this?
The thing is that why they put 2 wells, because the people go there pray more. 2 wells, I said, in the holy city of Rome. The people go there and pray more, so the Imam Zaman, they say 12th Imam, the Imam of the time, which is 12th Imam, he comes sooner. And they're going to put a light from Samarra, which is city that he went to the well at the beginning, centuries ago, from there to Jamkaran, which is Rome. So Imam, the 12th Imam will see the direction and come over there, and he goes in the skies, in the mosque or something, say, I came here and everybody has to obey me. I am the 12th Imam. Everybody has to obey me, and everybody has to come to Islam and has to believe into Islam and convert into Islam. Anybody who doesn't, they deserve to die. They are infidel, they are out of the religion, they have to die. And then there will be war between Muslims near Imam, 12th Imam, with the infidels. And all the infidels will be killed.
Armageddon.
Yes, and the 12th Imam will definitely, because God is behind him, 12th Imam will definitely survive and be the victor, and there will be one nation of Islam.
And what will bring this 12th Imam? Maybe like Jesus, maybe he'll come
God.
someday in the far future.
Okay, when they say when there is a atrocity and injustice and crimes and everything is full and everything is to a saturation level, and that day Imam Zaman comes the 12th Imam comes to solve the problem, and at that time he will take care of the infidels.
Would a big world war, like a war between Iran and Israel or and Russia?
No. It's not between Israel or Iran. The war is between the Muslim and non-Muslim. The war is not the war of 12th Imam is not between Israel and Iran or Turkey and Iran. It's between Muslim and those who don't believe in Islam.
But what will bring this Imam? You say.
As I said, when the world, the infidelity, the injustice, cruelty, and violence.
Is this in our
corruption.
lifetime? Is this
It could
these
be
conditions?
anytime. Anytime, if this is the highest level, comes to a saturated level, then the Imam Zaman will come to solve all these things, which has been destroying the world. And this could be interpreted by anyone in their own perspective views. I might say today the world is peaceful, nice, beautiful. You might say no, the world is a lot of bad thing going on. Another person might say this is disastrous life. Is a perceptive, thinking of how you look at the world, and how when they think that the 12th Imam should be coming belongs to how they think about the situation at this time of the world. Maybe they think it's the end of the world. The end of the world, 12th Imam comes.
Is that what this regime thinks now?
Yes. And Ahmadinejad several times said, I am praying to God that Imam Zaman will come as soon as possible. He said in his speech, it's easy to follow his speech. He said, I prayed a lot of time that the 12th Imam will come as soon as possible.
Under his administration?
Yes, I mean, the same last month he said, I think it was Yazd or some other place, he was speaking with the people, a lot of people in front of him. Yes, he's saying it.
This month?
Yeah.
This week?
He could, it could be any time. If for them, I don't know. It could be any time, any days, anything. But they're praying that 12th Imam will come as soon as possible, because the world is full of injustice and full of atrocity and full of killing and full of a lot of stuff. And the thing is, you have to remember, if you put these two together, it means a lot. When 12th Imam comes, he has a sword. This sword has the power of the God behind it. So nobody can overcome this sword. So this sword will be the winner's sword, because God is behind him, and he kills all infidel who doesn't want to join the Islam. And there will be one nation, an Islamic nation. As I said, take the sword, imagine the 12th Imam, as Ahmadinejad comes, tomorrow comes to Iran, which I don't know where they invented this Imam, the 12th Imam, I don't know, which I don't believe in that, and give atomic bomb to the hand of this 12th Imam.
Or many bombs.
Or many bombs to this hand of this guy. And there are infidel everywhere in the world. There is Europe, there is Russia, there is China, there is the United States. Look at the mentality. If you really go deeply in mentality, then you see what is the danger of even knowing that they know atomic energy technology. And not only the bomb, but the technologies in the hand of Ahmadinejad or somebody like Ahmadinejad and this regime.
Do you believe that there are risks from the regime's networks currently in the West?
Regime network, I don't think, I know there are in Europe, I know there are in the United States, yes. You want the networks? U.S. government knows, the network who are apparent that people know. There's Hushang Amir Ahmadi, Trita Parsi, and the people like working in Alawi Foundation in DC or in New York. And their network is very, very vast and with a lot of money, a lot of dollar money in the account. You're working in the United States, in Europe.
And do you think that the regime, the Iranian regime, would use those networks maybe to even to bring weapons of mass destruction into the West?
That I don't know. I don't know how secure is the border. I think that they like to bring it. They like to have a leverage on anything they can. I don't think U.S. will risk or has risked up to date to have any real terrorist activities in United States. You know, 180 opposition of the regime have been killed outside Iran last few years. In Germany, in Austria, in Sweden, in France, in almost every country in Europe. People have been slaughtered in the street, in the restaurant, in different places. And when they killed Sharafkandi in Austria, I'm sorry, not Sharafkandi, Abdurrahman Qasimlu, the head of the chairman of the Kurdish Democratic Party in Austria. Austria had a weakness with the regime because they dealt with the Iranian regime in Greece, and they threatened them, if you don't release this guy to us directly, we are going to announce you sold us the, I think it was chemical things. And so what happens is the Austrian government send this guy, take them, escort them to the airport, and then after escort them and send them out of Austria, tomorrow put their picture as a wanted. And escort, there is a book called Escort to Airport about this. I can show you later another time, hopefully if I could see you. And escort to the airport. And this guy who killed one of the head of one of the biggest party in Iran, an innocent guy, was supposed to have a meeting with people, has been slaughtered, and the government knows it. Because of their deal with Iran, they escort them to the airport, they send them to Iran. But in the United States, the regime couldn't do it. I don't think they don't do it because it's very difficult, because of the distance, to get these people, this network who committed this crime, out of here. Because if they stay here, it creates danger, even for that regime. Information, they have information, one or two of them we arrested. With the technology that we have now, they can confess everything by using some medicine that the intelligence services have. They can confess everything. So, because I think being far away from Iran and distance, and they don't have influence to bring them out from those countries, like they did in Germany, they did in France, Ismail Naqash and the other people, and in Austria, they cannot do it in the United States. That is, I think, one of the most important reasons that they haven't done any activities in the United States. Or maybe they don't want to do it here because the risk is too high for them.
Do you think any of them are being used for intelligence gathering?
Oh yes, intelligence gathering, of course. Of course, for intelligence gathering, for some other purposes. And a lot of them are being used as a lobbyist.
To use the system, to work through the system to help weaken American resolve against standing up to the regime?
You see, Mr. Houshang Amir Ahmadi, he's a professor in United States, and he's in close contact with Rafsanjani, and he's working with Rafsanjani. And he make a organization, American Iranian Association, or something like this. And anytime they want to, regime wants to do something, or a State Department wants to know something, his organization goes and informs them that this is going on, this is going on. He's playing as both opposition and position. Or Trita Parsi came from Europe a few years ago, and I've heard that he hardly has a diploma. He's been given doctorate degree. I don't know where he got it from. I would really like to know where he got his doctorate degree and in what subject he got it. And he's sitting with the senators and some other people that he's the expert about the Iran affair. What can we do? They're asking him what should we do. He's with the regime. He came for the regime. He has an obligation to fulfill. And the U.S. senator is asking. I really felt sad. I really felt sad. I saw it on Voice of America, and they were advertising. Voice of America was advertising so proudly, and Mr. Trita Parsi is sitting there. He's the agent of regime. Unfortunately, he's telling the senator what you should do. That means Islamic regime is telling our senators that what you should do for Iran. That's sad. The information goes to the. I've been in the State Department once or twice. Information they have, the perception they have is wrong. Unfortunately, is wrong. Or at least the people I talk to, they are wrong. The perception is not wrong. The information is not right. The perception is wrong, I'm sorry. The information is wrong they have. They don't know, or maybe they know, that the regime has created opposition and sent it outside Iran, and they get visa easier than a regular student who wants to come here and study. Mr. Ganji can come here very easy. Mr. Afshari can come here very easy. Why? They are the opposition has been created by the regime. There's somebody behind them. There are a lot of lobbyists behind them. The university, I can go on days and days. That American, there is a society of the study for the Middle East study groups called MESA. I went there and I checked the different groups of Iranians that were involved in that organization. Most of them, if they are not directly with the regime, somehow affiliated. That's why I didn't know up to a few years ago why the people getting injured, getting tortured, getting killed, the real, true opposition, nobody talks about them. But then suddenly Ganji gets famous. Another guy gets famous. Another guy gets famous. I didn't know until a few years ago. Why? What are we doing wrong that the people getting killed in the prison, executed in prison, student? But nobody talks about them, no CNN, no State Department, or nothing. When I went to that meeting, I realized that, my God, the regime has conquered indirectly most of the university, including UCLA. There are people like Alamdari and his wife, Dr. Tuhiti. I couldn't go there, make a memorial service for a student who has been killed by the regime in the prison because they say it's political. But Shirin Ebadi, which is the Nobel Prize winner of the regime, is working, I think he's mostly with the regime than the people. She's not with the people. She can come here anytime and criticize Mr. Bush's Guantanamo Bay's prison, but never talk about Iranian torture, Iranian prison. Never. Look at the difference in UCLA, a place where the education and knowledge should be given to the people. We cannot go with the memorial service of a student, Akbar Mohammadi, who has been killed after 7 years in prison, merely asking for freedom of speech, to be free to say whatever he wants. We cannot do it because that is political. But Ms. Ebadi can go there and talk about what? Guantanamo Bay. Those prison. I think she's from Guantanamo Bay or something. She's not from Iran. I told her once, as a note, I think you got the Nobel Prize for Iranian people, not for the Guantanamo Bay.
You're telling us that what we're being led to believe about either the regime or the situation or what the United States should do is deception.
It is misled and deception.
That we're being deceived and being fed,
yes.
and that our governments and universities and think tanks may be getting false information.
You're absolutely right, but this is not on purpose by your government, by our government, or by our people, but this is planned and work done by the Islamic regime. Because I know, I have a document, that at least one of these organizations in Mesa is being directly supported by Islamic regime. The guy comes from Dubai, is an embassy attaché of Iran, US, not US, Islamic regime. So How come attaché from Dubai, Iranian Islamic regime attaché from Dubai, is helping opposition in Mesa? Why? What's the opposition is he? Or are they?
In other words, what we think is the opposition is really just...
These are the people who feed Mr. Bush or Congress if they need, because these are the people recognized by the society of the Mesa. So Mr. Bush has no fault on that. Maybe he has to get some more investigation of who is getting the information from. Same thing will apply to UCLA if somebody wants to go there. Same thing with Stanford or some other places. That's how the information they have is not correct. It's deceiving.
So what would you like the American people to get our government to do? What should our policy be?
I think as far as the US government is saying that Islamic regime, we cannot talk to them, the United States, the US people should support Mr. Bush. He's right. You cannot talk to these people. If you talk to them, you're not solving the problem. You're giving a tablet to reduce your headaches. You need a surgery. You cannot cure a surgery by a tablet. I think Mr. Bush knows better than a lot of other people what is the problem in Iran. And he believes, I think he believes that what is, I follow all his speech. The people should support the notion of that there shouldn't be any discussion with this regime.
And sanctions?
Sanction and totally should go. This regime is not worth it to stay. Is danger for the society, danger for the international society, for his own society, for the region, for everything. If you talk to them, you negotiate with them, you're just delaying the problem for the future, another president coming next to you.
How extensive should the sanctions be?
But I think everything.
Total?
Total.
Cut off all economic...
Cut off everything economic is concerned. Oil, gas, purchasing, sending, exporting, importing, everything.
Freeze them out?
Freeze.
Just from America or from the whole rest of the world?
If the world does it, it would be very good. But I don't think the world would do. At least I can ask my own government, I'm a US citizen, and I'm Iranian American. I can ask them, the people of Iran have been in sanction for 28 years. The real people have been suffering, and the sanction that you put or any other country put, I don't think is going to affect people. The only thing that should go in Iran is the medicines.
And then how could this regime be overthrown?
Okay, the only thing is, I think, is holding them is not the religion. The glue is the money. The glue for this regime is the money. As soon as you unglue it, it's like a structure that you can destroy it. Everything falls down by itself. Because they are not a good believer. All of them, I'm talking about the whole. When you go to Dubai, when you go to Lebanon, when you go to Palestine, you see more supporters of the Ahmadinejad and the government of Iran than inside Iran. They don't live in Iran. They don't have any concern in Iran. They don't have anything in Iran. The only thing is because they get money. They get money from Iranian government. I've heard last year 8.3 billion money of Iranian people has gone to the overseas, the different countries, to Guatemala, to Nicaragua, to Lebanon, to any other countries that you want to say. That's from outside. From inside, there are a lot of people supporting the regime because they are benefiting from the regime. They get good money from the regime. If they don't have money to give them, they don't have to support them. They won't support them. So the glue to this regime is not religion. Religion will escape from the window. It's the money. Cut the money any way you can. Cut the money any way you can. You see how much support they get in Iran and outside the country.
Cut off their economic,
Economic,
financial security.
any way you can.
Destabilize the government.
Exactly.
Because is the government a democratic government, or are they oppressive?
This government, democratic, if they could put a democratic election by tomorrow, I will assure you they won't get 5% vote. They are not democratic. They're governing, they're ruling Iran by the power of gun and sword. And there are a few followers, very few, unfortunate, that they go by the religion. You take the money and economy away from them, that they cannot support these people, and you will see how quickly these people will escape from this regime.
But right now, are the people of Iran being held hostage by this oppressive regime?
If you look back about a few days ago in Tehran, you will see the women, the brave women of Iran, and the teachers. Imagine if you go to demonstration, it's not like USA that you go to demonstration, you throw a stone at the police, or you do a lot of things to the police cannot do anything to you. It's not like this. If you go peacefully in the street in the United States, nobody bothers you, no matter how much demonstration you have. But in Iran, having a demonstration means years in prison, tortures, even execution. With those, threat, when thousands of people go to the street today, now imagine if there was a free demonstration, how many people come to the street? Thousands of people came to the street, thousands of teachers, about tens of thousands of teachers came in front of the Congress in Iran, and they talked to them and said, our salary hasn't been paid for months, and how can we support ourselves? And instead of paying them their salary, they put them in jail. It's about 60 or 70 of them put them in jail as a leader of the demonstration. And now, imagine the money doesn't go to Iran, to the government. And they don't have any money to pay their own agents.
Well, wouldn't the people suffer?
The people are not being affected, in my view. No, they have suffered enough.
You think the people would uprise? Would they rise up? Would they rise up to try and overthrow this regime?
This could be used as a two-toothed sword. When the government cannot bring money and govern the country, even the people of opposition, they have excuse to come to the street. There is no bread, there is no rice, there is no meat, they get the excuse to come to the street. When they come to the street, who is going to attack them? The people who get the money from the government, like guards.
Police.
Okay, police. And their government doesn't have money to give them either. So they're not going to attack them. That would be and plus the potential which is in Iran about the opposition. I'm sure 100% that this regime get the money, boycotting from the money, they cannot survive.
How long would it take?
It depends how severe is the economy, how much reserve they have. These are the information that is out of my hand. I don't know how much reserve they have, how much can be internationally be really accurate in implementing the sanction, and how much money can get out there, or I don't know. But 6 months real sanction will do the job.
And are you asking the American public to pressure their representatives in Washington to put these sanctions?
I'm asking the American people It doesn't cost United States any human life. It doesn't cost billions of dollars for American to spend like we spend in Iraq or some other place. It only costs us dignity and honor and sympathy for another nation which is being hostage in another part of the world. And United States, the American people should realize this. I really started crying when I saw 9/11 when happened in Iran. There were about 150,000 youngsters with a candle came into the street at night in solidarity with American people. That's what happened in September 11. If you realize those people who came to the street in solidarity with the United States, the American people, what risk they took, which about 80 of them have been arrested for days and days. They were in jail, just to tell American people that we, young people of Iran, are your friend. We sympathize with you. We are sharing your sorrow and everything in our time. Now, I think it wouldn't hurt if we go do the same thing, that tell them back that we also care about you. We will push our government to impose the sanction on Iran.
Now,
Yes,
to help the people of Iraq.
yes, in order
Of
to
Iran.
free them, in order to free and get rid of this regime from not only Iran, will be free. I think the whole world will breathe freely too. If this regime is gone, not only Iranian people will breathe, but the whole world will breathe too. And I hope that day is coming.